Hi, friends. I guess we are live again. And as it is, it's that day of the week, Friday night, and we are here again to do our weekly ritual, a roundup of all the happenings over the last week in the cricketing fraternity. And we would definitely appreciate maximum participation from you guys again. I mean, we were definitely thrilled with your participation in our last live, which was on that famous Bangladesh Pakistan test match. And that was a great session. I mean, a lot of you guys enjoyed and also interacted with us, and we were all thrilled. And today, also, one of our friends is already there, Shubhradeep, and another new friend has joined us, Rajatavo, and he will also like to break on one news. So we will be waiting a bit for you guys to join, and then we will start our news. So please share your feedbacks. Please watch our video. Also, please share it with all your friends, all cricket fans you know, and please ensure maximum participation. That's all we wish from you guys. And a like, share, and subscribe. So as you know, I mean, the IPL retentions, news, and all those things have been making the rounds for quite some time now. I mean, there have been a lot of things starting from that Dhoni uncapped fiasco, and then how many retentions, how many RTMs, who will go where, Rohit, Hardik, Sky, will these three guys stay in the same place or three guys go to three different places? Where will Bumrah go? There's a lot of questions going around. Who will be the next captain of RCB? Where will KL Rahul go? And now, I mean, a couple of happenings that has been over the last week, like Zaheer Khan has now, it's a sure shot news, Zaheer Khan has joined LSG as a mentor. So, I mean, we will again get to see Justin Langer and Zaheer Khan work together the next season. Shubhradeep will be very happy. He's a big Justin Langer fan, as I know. And the smile naturally occurs on his face. Also, there's been some news going around like Yuvraj Singh. Is Yuvraj Singh gonna join DC now that Ponting has left? There's a void, and is Yuvraj Singh the guy to fill up his boots? Also, I mean, as that Rohit Sharma fiasco, it has been going on from April when the IPL was going on. That what's Rohit Sharma's future in MI? Is he gonna stay in MI? If so, is he gonna be the captain again? Is Hardik gonna stay with him, or will Hardik stay and will Rohit go to some other place? Like there's been news that maybe some teams like um, Delhi or some teams like LSG or Punjab, I guess, are keeping some huge balances for Rohit Sharma, and they're gonna just wash their clothes away to buy Rohit Sharma at the auction. And also, I mean, maybe some guys are saying that Shreya Shire, I don't know if he's gonna be there at KKR, if he's gonna leave, who knows? Maybe Sky is gonna come. That's also a strong rumor that's been going on ever since the IPL season ended. That is Sky gonna come back to his home? I mean, the team where he started his journey in 2014, I think. He was there with KKR for 4 years, I guess, 14, 15, 16, 17, before he went to Mumbai, and then he was promoted up the order, and then rest is history. So that Sky thing is also not sure. So as of
Yeah,
now,
but in my opinion, I think it would be unjust to let Shreya Shire. He just won the IPL last year, like almost entirely ravaging the entire, all the
yeah.
other.
Anyways, a lot of things will be unfair with
Yeah, so
KKR as they will no more get back the winning squad in a mega auction season, as is the reality of nature.
yeah, but in my opinion, it should be wise to retain their. Actually
Yeah, I
winning
mean,
captain.
definitely. I mean, if
But again, it's up to them. Probably the GG Shreya Shire, the combo that worked. Maybe the new guy who comes in as the mentor. That combo might not work with Shreya Shire, so they might bring someone for Surya Kumar Yadav. So you
I think
never
it's
know.
all
yeah,
depends to the number of retentions. I think it's gonna come by the first week of September. By the time we meet again on the next Friday, we'll have the rules of the how many retentions are gonna have. Because the issue with Kolkata is they are gonna surely retain Russell and Nadine. Then they're gonna retain Rinku. Now the choice is between are they gonna take a charge on Philip Salt or some of the young pacers, or there is gonna be Shreyas. Can they make it a bit of a the kind of a charge on buying Rinku Singh in the auction? Can they have the kind of a goods to go for a high price? And I think that's the kind of a question that they have to work with in the next season.
Yes, depends on the age of the player, the consistency of the player as well. Because just as you said that Phil Salt, he had a phenomenal season, but then again he did not shine much with the bat in the T20 World Cup. So
Well,
that is
it
one thing
is.
that KKR will, yeah, KKR will look into, because the pitches were a bit difficult to play for in the US, and especially in the US and also in West Indies. So
Yeah,
I don't remember, except for I think 150 or something. I don't think Phil Salt playing a match winning innings or something like that in the entire World Cup.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Oh
I
well.
mean, definitely, as of now, that only that Zahir Khan news has been is the sure shot one. Everything else is just going around, and nobody knows how much quality the truth is. But definitely, there's been a lot of news going around, and I think in the upcoming weeks we will also get much more clarity on what's going to be the future. Also, I mean, who's going to be the next coach of KKR? That's also a big question. And I mean, Chandu Pandit was the head coach, but now that Gambhir has gone away, will he again be the like a lone warrior in that room, or will again somebody come to assist Chandu Pandit? That's also going to be a question. And I
Yeah,
mean,
I think
definitely,
probably a couple of months back when Gambhir was about to join the Indian team from KKR, there was this rumor in the air that there could be a possible swap deal between Rahul Dravid and Gambhir, but I think that later got cleared off. So I think KKR are looking for a mentor definitely, because of the fact that it takes off a lot of pressure from the head coach. But then again, it all depends on I mean other factors as well, like who all are available.
yeah,
And we also
definitely.
add,
I mean,
yeah, and another thing that I would like to add is that this is like purely something like a fan theory. So I think you remember, so there was this match in Kolkata between Delhi Capitals and KKR, and in the post match we had a visual going viral of Shah Rukh Khan coming and hugging Saurav Ganguly from the back. So a lot of people had this emotional connect that they wanted Dada to come back as a mentor of KKR and win something for KKR, because the way he was sent out was not very pleasant. So you know that can also happen. So I mean, we can only speculate until something is.
The pure
yeah,
Kolkata fan. Yeah.
definitely. I mean, yeah, definitely, a lot of things can happen. And in I mean, yeah, also we will like our viewers to share if they have any more news going around, if they know of any more any other news going around, and they can also add to the spice, to be
Yeah,
honest.
news, rumors, gossips, anything is welcome. Yeah.
And I mean, in the line also, I mean, it's been a week where there's been quite a bit of retirement news coming up. I mean, Shannon Gabriel, the Bill Pukovsky thing, we are not that sure, but yeah, definitely. I mean, if that's true, that's really disappointing. What a talent he was, but I mean, it's really unfortunate for him. Also, there's been a couple of other retirement news, and I would like to ask Shubhradeep to shed light on that part.
Well, obviously, you know that David Malan and Sharon Gill will kind of announce the retirement in between 12 hours in a day. There was Bud in the Sun yesterday, and along with Will Pukowski, as you mentioned. Obviously, I wasn't really surprised with David Malan. A great England T20 batter, once top ranked England T20 batter at that point of time, but later that's lost in the shadow. I think he has an average of around 27, strike it up pretty well in the T20s of 132. In T20s, I think you play for T20s in many years, playing for 100 and many other leagues. He has always have a chance to show his potential. But the moment England kind of showed, I think the age factor, as we mentioned in the last podcast regarding Shikhar Dhawan, he is around 37. I mean, a few days or a few weeks to go before he moves to 37. So he has an average of, even despite of having an average of around 50 in ODI cricket, he has been kind of snapped off. And when he wasn't picked for the
Yeah,
Australia series, it
I
was
think Kanchan is having some question. Like
okay.
he's adding something else. I mean, I think we discussed on that also in the last video. Is Dravid going back to RR?
I
Uh,
think he. I think he is because I think Sangakkara is getting an offer from England Cricket Board, so he might be looking at Dravid. Obviously, having a relationship with Rahul for a long, long time, so they are maybe going back to Dravid. And obviously, has been the experience of T20 game nowadays pretty good. While having a victorious Indian team, head coaching setup, he knows the players pretty well. He knows how to deal with the job pretty well, better than the last time he was there. So it'll be nice to see. But yeah, coming back to David Malan. Pretty good average, as I mentioned, over 55. And you expected him to be part of the England 50 over game, but once they decided to drop him for the England Australia series, it was almost given. Obviously, they didn't have a nice time in India in last year's World Cup, so you kind of expected it to happen at some point of time. And as I mentioned for Shikhar Dhawan, at the end of the day, at the end of his career, David Malan will be really concerned about his test average, something he will be think of, taking up polishing a little bit better, average of under 30 for a quality batter like him, who is very good in square out the wicket, plays the cuts really well. Didn't have even. I was really surprised when he's dropped from the red ball format. I think he has a poor Australia trip in 2017 when he has an average of around 30, but that is the
Yeah,
fourth
I think that Ashes 2021 Down Under was his last tour. After that, the England team slowly moved into the baseball era and
yeah,
he was dropped.
yeah, but that's why my question, Shaptoshi. I mean,
So,
if you see the average 30, that was pretty good considering Johnny Bairstow, Joe Root, and I think Ben Stokes had kind of average 30, and others are less than him. So he
Yeah,
was
I think
doing the job
Johnny
pretty
Bairstow
well.
overseas he's pathetic, and also David Malan in the
Yeah.
middle order he adds a bit of depth, and also
So
the left hand right hand
yeah, so he
combination.
was. Yeah, that was the point. So he was doing the job well, so there's no need to change. But obviously, England moved from Brendan McCullum and Ben Stokes kind of a theory of going with Agris in the red ball format, and that's why decided to move away from David Malan. Then there is Shannon Gabriel, and and most of the time, actually not most of the time, all the time they mention Shannon Gabriel. My mind goes back to that wild whack he made against Ashish
yeah,
Shah
Sid
in
Shah.
2017. Yeah, the Dominica Test match. I kind of goes when I found the news. I think it was very late in the night. I was about to sleep, and one of those news pops up in my mobile says Shannon Gabriel announces it up, and suddenly I saw Shannon Gabriel. I said, okay, the guy tried to whack Yasir Shah on the penultimate ball of the second last over in a Test match when they are trying to save the game with a set batter Austin Chase on the other side of the crease, and it was the last game, farewell game for Misbah and Yunus Khan. He was needed just to defend the single delivery, and he went for a wild whack. That's kind of a and the famous line from Faiz Mahmood. He said, God, Bole, why did he do that? And I just kind of fade away to the why did he do that? Absolutely, there's no need to do that. Stuart Clark, I think Stuart Law was in the balcony for the West Indies camp, and he was kind of took his eyes over. Why did he do that, man? Shannon Gabriel
Yeah, I think
was
Kanchan
pretty
is
damn
having
good.
something
Yeah,
else in the comments. Like, as MI
Okay.
fan, I want MI should sack Mark Boucher and reappoint Mahela or Ponting if they're really interested. What do you guys think? So, am I
I
going back to
would like to make
Mahela
a
or Ponting?
So
Yeah, I would
he
like to make a
okay.
small comment on this and the previous comment of Kanchan as well. So, as he said that is Dravid going back to MI, and is also this Mahela and Ponting coming back to MI. So it's like I have one statement: going back to your ex is never a safe option. So I mean, like, you can take the example of Ronaldo and Manchester United. They
Yeah,
had a
I was gonna come to that Ronaldo to Manu.
yeah, they had a wonderful love story, and the way he came back, that was also amazing. And but not every story is like Gambhir and
No,
KKR. So
there's a far better example. Hardik Pandya to MI last year.
oh, right, right.
This year only it happened.
And then there is the exact opposite, Gambhir to KKR.
I think
Yeah,
he
Gambhir to
mentioned
KKR
that.
is true
Yeah, he
love.
mentioned reappointing Mahela or Ponting. I think Ponting mentioned in an ICC review that he is getting some gig from any of the franchise. So maybe Mumbai is looking at Ponting. It could be a factor, but I think
Yeah, Ponting
Ponting
also won the MLC, I think, this year with Steve
MLC, I
Smith.
think, and
Yeah,
and
right,
I
right,
think he
right.
shared a very good relationship with Shreyas Iyer. So if Shreyas Iyer moves to or stays in Kolkata, Ponty may go back to Kolkata again. I think he hugged Shreyas in the last league game of the IPL. So that can be a good thing. Mahela is a good option. I think Mahela is a very, very calm guy, takes the routes really pretty well. So I think Mahela could be a
So,
good option. I always feel Mahela has the kind of products or the quality of being a great coach. Hasn't been there in the mix, but he has the kind of potential to do well. All right, Shommodit Hazra, he's saying, have you guys
yeah,
watched
he's asking.
Atkinson's
So he's engrossed
Atkinson?
in the England Sri Lanka Test match. Very good. We are also. And so he's on Atkinson. I mean, Atkinson loves the Lord's cricket ground, to be honest. I mean, what a debut last month, and now 100 in the second match.
He has already beaten Brian Lara, Sachin Tendulkar, Virat Kohli,
Yeah, I
Graham
think he has
Smith.
now more centuries at Lords than Sachin and more fifers than Shane Warne.
Right.
I was saying something
Yeah, I mean,
like that.
more centuries than Lara. Yeah, Graham Smith.
And what a debut
Then they have
series. I
also
mean, you could
Virat.
not expect something better.
What
12
is,
for in the first
what
in the
is
first match and
summer?
then a century. Yeah,
He batting, as says, batting and bowling. Give me Lord, and I will score runs and take
Yeah,
wickets like in
also,
ducks in
and I
water.
think Gus Atkinson's batting is important to England at this point because once they go to Australia for that Ashes 15 months later, I think he is the guy who is gonna have to play at number 8 because you won't play Chris Wokes at Australia most probably unless they decide to take him, which I'm not sure. But 99%, I think they're not gonna play him outside England. If that's the case, then Atkinson is the guy who has to play at number 8 because they don't have any other guy who can play at number 8. If they would have persisted with Hartley, I could have said, Chalo, Hartley could have played at number 8. But now that they are going with Bashir is a number 11 guy. And then if you play Mark Wood, Oli Stone, or maybe who else is playing? Matthew Potts. These guys are
Reports,
at
yeah.
best number 9. They can't bat at number 8. So Gus Atkinson has
And
to improve his batting. And if he bats like this, that will be a real big boom to the English camp.
yeah,
but Shoptoshi,
absolutely. And
I remember that in the India when England toured India this year earlier this year, I think Shoaib Bashir had quite a few good cameos of 20-25 runs in a couple of matches. If I remember
Shoaib
correctly, or
Bashir or
was that?
Tom Hartley? I think Shoaib Bashir didn't bat a lot.
I think
I
he
think
Tom
Tom
batted
Hartley
Hartley.
was
one
really
match.
great with the bat.
Yeah, Tom Hartley was really good with the bat, but I think it was probably, did he play in the first test or in the second test? Because I remember Shoaib
Shoaib
Bashir
Bashir played in
contributed.
the second, I think, and but I don't remember him batting really well somewhere. Also, I
That
think, yeah,
could
I
have
mean,
factored.
that's what I'm saying. I don't think Shoaib Bashir has, at the moment, that much potential in his batting, but maybe England can try Tom Hartley also in that perspective that they will get at number 8. Also, I think Anubhav is asking something like, over the
very
past
smart
decade, there has
question.
been
Very
No, it
a
was
smart
Tom
question
Hartley.
from
significant
Anubhav.
decline in the global batting average in Test cricket. Yeah, this is a very good question. What factors do you believe have contributed to this trend? Yes. So this is a real good
It's
question. Thanks, Anubhav, for
Seasonal
the
decline in
question.
the global batting average in Test cricket. What factors do you believe have contributed? I think the T20. Most of the players have been playing the T20s all the time, and they have a mindset of going aggressive. I'm not saying aggressive, but sometimes it happens in T20, so you have to kind of change your follow through kind of stunts in a different way. And when they come to Test matches, it becomes so hard to change in a kind of a proportion of the game, the batting stances, the mindset, change a different thing. You saw the first wicket that Sri Lanka lost, but Sri Lanka obviously not a great T20 player, but he plays T20 also. When he saw the ball is in the fourth or fifth, he just went with the ball, fishing with the rod, and gets an inside edge onto his stumps. That's something which wasn't the case with Sachin or all the players, Brian Lara, Graham Smith, when they used to play a cookie. Just say the cook, Alistair Cook, when he knows the ball is on the fourth stump or fifth stump, he kind of leave it. That's kind of his
Yeah,
mindset.
and
That yeah, it's in his
you
mindset.
will also see that there are a lot more runouts these days in Test match cricket, which is quite unusual. Like you don't need to hurry, you don't need to
Yeah, you
go
need to
for that
hurry.
risk. Yeah, you don't need to go for that extra
Yeah,
run.
like I mean, if I take yesterday's example, Joe Root was batting so well, and it didn't look like Joe Root would get out to anything except a Jaffa. And then all of a sudden, he just found out that old shot of his reverse scoop, and he
There's
just
no need
found
to
out a
play
way
the
to
shot. Yeah,
get
there's
out
Do
with
no
you
that.
need
remember
to
in
play
the
the
India
shot.
versus England? Yeah, that first Test match. I think Oli Pope was batting on 196 against
Yeah,
Bumrah. He tried the reverse
and he
sweep and he
went for a
got
reverse
bowled.
scoop.
No, but still, I can find a logic to the lollipop shot because I think they were 9 down and he didn't have enough trust in. I think Jimmy, not Jimmy wasn't playing. I think Mark Wood or someone maybe was playing.
I think it was
Anyways,
the Bashir.
whoever it was.
Maybe
No,
someone,
not
yeah.
Bashir. Bashir wasn't playing. I'm
I
not
think it
sure
was
who was
Anderson.
playing.
Maybe someone. I
No,
can't
no,
remember.
not Anderson. Not Anderson. It was,
No,
probably Mark.
Anderson wasn't there in the first match. I think whoever it is.
Whoever.
I mean, but he didn't have enough trust in the number 11, and he was on 196, just one hit away from a 200, and he just tried his luck. It didn't go, and most of the times it won't go against Bumrah, anyways. But I mean, Root he was batting so well. Atkinson was batting so well at the other end. It was the end of the day. Just 5-6 overs were left after that, and there was absolutely no reason for that shot, to be honest. But maybe he felt like I have done enough for today, and now I will try out my luck. If it goes very well, if it doesn't even go, I don't care. So that's the attitude batters have these days mostly. I mean, maybe 10, 15 years back, if a batter had batted so well throughout the day and he's getting such a good support from the other end, maybe he would have thought like, uh, I would bat for maybe another day. Who knows?
Yeah.
In today's cricket, I see this temperament, the temperament you talked about that we are lacking much in Yashasvi
Yeah.
Jaiswal. he has scored 4 centuries, and out of them, three of them he has converted to a double ton, and one to a 170 or something.
And that
So
was
so
needed.
so he,
You need big centuries in test matches to win the game. You cannot expect just for just say Joe Root got out at the point of time and Gus Atkinson hadn't scored 100, and England will be kind of thinking that trail. Sri Lanka batted really well. I don't know, batted really well, got, bowled out under 200, but had not Gus Atkinson scored the score, so England would have kind of a the score around 250. So the trail would have been very less. That is the kind of a difference you have to pinpoint in winning a test matches. In winning a test matches, losing a test match, it's not a very small margin. That is a small margin what you talk about. Shummudi
Yeah,
was
I mean,
saying more. He said it's funny that KL has
so
100 in Lord's food. Not funny. KL has batted really well in Lord's using the slow pretty well. So not funny. I don't think it's funny. He said I don't
Gale
know
is a man with
why.
good. He's a man with great potential. Like,
Great potential, man. I think he said don't know, but why it looks like short Shakil will be the next captain of Pakistan and Shan
yeah,
Masood
so South
inside. I
Shakil will be
don't
the
know.
next captain, Shan Masood.
Not
South
sure
Shakil
about
also, I
that.
mean, does he have enough good knocks outside of Pakistan or
He
outside of
has
Asia?
played in Sri Lanka. No, not outside of Asia. I think he played one of those 50s in Australia, but
Yeah, in Sri
he's
Lanka, I remember he played one very good knock with, I think, Nasim Shah at the other end, most
yeah,
probably,
yeah. But I'm not
in
sure about his game
2023.
against the Pacers. Obviously, hasn't really tripped much of Pakistan, in Australia, New Zealand, or South Africa. The South Africa series that they have towards the end of the year will be very, very acid test for him to show how much run he can go. But Shan Masood's time is getting a bit near. To be honest, today's result, today's test match, which has been washed out, but this game is very, very fine margin for Masood. Then
Yeah,
they have
also,
England
we would,
series.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. Also, I think we would come back to the comments again, but I think at the moment,
yeah.
let's
We
move to
move to
our next
we need to move towards
news.
the
So,
news section. Yeah, so I was saying the
yeah,
yeah,
Gabriel one. I already mentioned Gabriel. They're not really excited towards the Gabriel's retirement. To be honest, Gabriel has retired. Brian the Sun has retired. Not much really haven't really focused on Brian the Sun, but I remember him left arm fast bowler
Barinder
playing for
Stan, I remember
Sunrisers.
him making that debut at, I guess it was at Perth, and he got the wickets of Aaron Finch, David Warner,
Yeah, yeah.
and I
He
think
played him.
Steve Smith on
Steve
149.
Smith.
He got it in the last over,
Yeah.
and then they won. Steve Smith and George Bailey hit hundreds in that match.
Mostly behind the scenes memory for me is Sunrisers Hyderabad because I mentioned last week that my family kind of my I'm not a family I'm not the point of fanboy of Sunrisers mostly Chennai guy mostly but my family my elder brother is quite a huge fan of Sunrisers so I remember but in the sun bowling those left arm fast bowling under the captaincy of David Warner won the 2016 championship was part of the team it was Burying the Sun. And then you mentioned Will Pukowski. It's really hard to pronounce his name, but have to mention. I will call him Will. So Will has kind of considered himself to make his retirement. Not sure about that. Not really confirmed. We can't confirm it because Cricket Australia hasn't really announced it. But
Yeah, I mean that
obviously,
Will Pukowski thing is really unfortunate. I mean, he
very
when he played his
unfortunate, man.
first Test
Really.
match against India, he was such a good talent, and he was touted to be the next big thing. Also, he got a 50, I think, in his first innings against India,
And
and
you
since
and
then
you
he
remember
just
we discussed that whether Australia can go back to him for the next India series. We discussed it in the last week,
yeah, I
and
mean that
now
opener
he
thing
has
has always been sort of an issue when David Warner was there, and when finally they got Khawaja, David Warner is gone.
yeah. Now we are moving to another kind of a
yeah. So
news
so
that is
yeah. So now
when
probably we will go back to exactly the contrary of what you were saying. You were talking about retirements. I'm going to talk about comebacks. So we have a
yeah
couple of comebacks scheduled very soon. So I think Josh Butler he's going to make his comeback in this Lancaster with the Lancaster team, and I think he has been out of the action since. Sorry, I think there is something wrong with my link. Yeah, yeah, I'm back.
go
Yeah,
no issues.
yeah. So I think he's been out of action since the World Cup semi-final. I mean, as long as Josh Butler was batting in the World Cup semi-final, I had my heart in my mouth. Like this guy took the game away from us in 2022. Let him not take away the game from us in 2024. And after
Yeah,
that, he suffered an injury, and he has been. I mean, like he's been out of action for a long time. But he has been a great batter, a phenomenal batter. Even in 2024 IPL, he had a great season until they got knocked out. And I think it was after Josh Butler.
yeah, I mean that's the reason I was really disappointed with Josh Butler in the 2023 World Cup. I mean, he had a terrible campaign, to be honest. Apart from that first match against New Zealand, he just kept finding ways to get out. And I
Right,
mean,
right.
I think he averaged some 12 or 14 in that World Cup, if I'm not wrong.
I think even in this World Cup, Josh Butler was in quite phenomenal form. He was like pulling the team alone, like he was doing in the 2022 World Cup. And even I think you do remember the KKR versus RR match in Kolkata.
Yeah. I mean, he was almost down on his knees, and he
He was
was
lost.
just
He was
physically
gone.
not there. But I mean, he kept on hitting, smashing the bowlers everywhere. And then, I mean, he was really struggling at one point of time. And then all of a sudden, he just clicked that switch, and it went bang, 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 gone, done.
Right. And I think it was the number 9 or number 10 at the other end batting.
Yeah, Avish Khan, the great finisher, was there at the
Yeah.
other end.
Right. Yeah. Anyways, it would be lovely to see him back in action for England, and hope. I mean, he plays a lot. Great knocks again, but not
Yeah,
just
also, I
against
mean,
India.
Butler's form is a real big concern for India. I mean, for England. I mean, if he's in form for the Champions Trophy, England will really be happy because he's that man who can change any game from any situation. Even if you remember the 2019 World Cup final, people remember Stokes and what happened, that overthrow and everything, but people forget what Josh Butler did that day, both with the bat and with the gloves on that last ball of the super over.
Right. And also, as you said, Ben Stokes is also he's also coming back from the injury. He's been training with the team in Sri Lanka and probably is
Yes.
scheduled to
So
make his comeback in the Test
yes,
series
I mean
against.
his presence will be necessary in Pakistan, both as a captain and also, I mean, considering the fact that he can offer both in both departments, batting and bowling, and they will need that pace bowling all rounder on those dead pitches of Pakistan. To be honest,
Yeah, but I'm not sure how much he will be able to bowl, given that he is just coming back from the knee injury. So I'm not
yes.
sure how much
So
he will be able to
yeah, so
contribute with
that
the
will
ball.
be a talking point. To be honest, also, I mean, that Stokes and Root has not been considered in the ODI squad, but I think England selector Luke Wright said that they are
Yeah, I think
at
Stokes will
the
be
moment they
considered
are
for
not
the Champions Trophy, 2025 Champions Trophy.
ruled
So
out, but
Yeah,
they might be considered. I mean, they have an India series, I think, before the Champions Trophy. Also, they have one limited over series in West Indies, I guess.
yeah. Towards the end of
right,
the year,
right,
towards
right.
Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that
So
that that
So
will probably be the acid test for the England team, because they will play in the subcontinent, and if the Champions Trophy finally is hosted by Pakistan or somewhere in the subcontinent, so you know they will get a taste of where they stand.
yeah, what the
yeah.
stands
Also,
and
I think time
yeah,
to have a look at some of the comments. So Kanchan was saying, like, he was saying for coming to Mendes. Yes, I mean, what
I,
talent
I,
he's
I,
been.
I
I
think
mean,
there
I
is
think
another.
till now he's got 300s, and today also he got a 50. Right now, I don't know what he's batting on, but today also he batted so
he's
well.
he's gone
I,
at the moment. Sri Lanka has not allowed. Commitment is
Also, Sri
74.
Lanka is all out, but I think he was
Yeah,
their high scorer today.
yeah.
I
Obviously,
think
he has
Brahm
the
has a
highest score.
comment.
74. I mean, what a knock again. So coming to Mendes has been a real good talent. I think his first class average was also pretty impressive before he made his debut. And I think he
Man has
was,
an man has an average of close to 90 in his 8 innings, so over 600 runs for Sri Lanka,
yeah,
and he
I
has
think he
batted
got
against.
twin hundreds in Bangladesh and then 100 in his first test in England. And then he gets
And
a
he
50 here.
and he has batted against quality teams, against Australia, now against England in challenging conditions. I think England did
Yes,
a miss a trick the last game in Manchester and bowling to him over the wicket, nicked off in the pretty one and kind of Mark Box shouting from the commenting box that he has a challenge. It was quite hard to see him stand on a middle off stump when he's facing the shot was over the wicket, but it changed in the stance in today. Maybe someone like Sangarada or Jayasuriya had a word with him and he changed his stance, stood in the middle stump
yes.
arena of the point of line. He helped him and he's made some really good shots towards the back end of the innings. He has a very good knack of how to play with the tail. That was a very good art that you have to have as a middle order batter. But I'm just guessing, I was wondering why not Sri Lanka promoting him up the order? That's my question. Why don't you
Yeah, I mean,
want
he's batting
your
so much down the order. He's batting at seven or
yeah, and
seven, I
he's the
guess.
only batter in form, along with Chandimal and Matthews to some extent. So you
Finished
got to
Chandimal
have
Matthews.
them. I just didn't understand why they Madhushanka kept when they have already option of Chandimal in the batting order. I didn't realize why did it happen. I didn't realize why Pathum Nishanka didn't open for the innings. So many questions around the Sri Lanka team. And yeah, as Kanchan mentioned. Now we're moving to another
Yeah,
comment.
so
You
also
have
I think Shomojit is asking, like,
what
on
happened to
Shaheen
Shaheen
Afridi, the
Afridi?
Eagle. What
Is a
happened to Shaheen
prospect.
Afridi? He was a great prospect for, yes. So I mean, last week also when we had the discussion on Pakistan Bangladesh, we covered this point. Like Shaheen Afridi, I think before his injuries in 2022, he had one injury before the T20 World Cup. Then I think he was literally rushed in the T20 World Cup, and then again he suffered his second injury in that final at the MCG. And post that, I mean, I have just not seen him cranking up that speed or maybe getting that lethal shape in with the new ball. So
Yeah, you are right. To be honest, I just saw one of those old videos of Muhammad Ami, and he was asked how he sees the Shaheen Shafrit in the future, and Amir Khan was very quick enough to answer that because he is very young at the stage, 3 4 years I'm talking about. He is very young, 25, around 24 at the point of time. So it's really easier for him to kind of play all the formats across the formats at a consistent basics. So he was very young, so it's charged up so many overs on his legs. So he can bowl with the same pace in all the three formats. Now he has become a little bit winger and a little bit older, and because of the injury, he has all constantly thinking of this injury. It's never easy. If you have an injury as a bowler, if you have a break your leg, as Maxwell mentioned, when Payas mentioned, all the time you are towards the point of time you think, am I getting the injury back? Am I getting to the same period? So the injury is really concerning. And there's a very good stat in test matches. Shaheen Shah pre-injury, 42 innings, he has picked up 99
yes,
wickets at
yes,
an average of under 25, economy of 3. Post-injury, Shaheen Shah 10 innings at an average of 40, picked up only 16 wickets at an economy of over 3. And the difference of average of 16 is also being noted towards a strike rate of around 5 overs. That's pretty much when you are a very premier fast bowler and a very quality bowler of your team. It becomes hard. Obviously, the pitches in Pakistan, as I mentioned in the last podcast, hasn't been helpful to him, hasn't really helpful to any of the bowler, let alone the far pacers or him. So he needs to change. He needs to get away. And I think Pakistan did a very good thing to drop him. There's no point of having him. Obviously, it's a rain country game. I don't think they're going to get a
yeah. To be
result.
honest, I mean, you just can. There's absolutely no use keeping a half fit pacer just because his name is Shaheen Afridi. I mean, let him go back, get the basics correct, and then come back.
Yeah,
And I
that
would
was the
and
point.
I would like to add one more thing. If you guys were watching that final in the MCG 2022, I think when Shaheen Shah Afridi he got injured while taking the catch, and then he tried bowling another over after that. Babar Azam handed
That
him the ball,
was
and I think after 2 or 3
unnecessary.
balls, he
Yeah, he
yeah
came to
he
bowl over, but he just didn't feel right, and then
yeah,
I think
yeah,
Iftikhar came up to
and
complete
then
that
he held
over.
his ankle, and then I remembered when Babar Azam was replacing him with I think someone else. I don't remember his name who he was replaced with. So the commentator was saying that fast bowlers, pace bowlers, they are like gold dust. You have to preserve them very carefully, and
Yeah,
even if that comes at the cost of the World Cup. So that is why I
yeah,
mean, like even if they had to lose the World Cup, Shah's career was much more important and should be
yeah.
much
That
more
was
important to Pakistan
unnecessary.
cricket board. Yeah,
It was
than the
unnecessary.
World Cup.
Absolutely unnecessary.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, that's correct. I mean, Shaheen, I think, is no more fit enough, and he just needs to get his basics correct. And I'm hoping that maybe in a year or so, also the Champions Trophy is coming up, and Shaheen really needs to get his form correct because, I mean, in ODIs, anyways, again, Pakistan don't have a great deal of bowlers. Shadab Khan just keeps on dishing full tosses, and Haris Rauf will get smashed for maybe 100 runs every day. So you just can't win ODIs also like that.
Yeah, I think the only consistent bowler they have right now in pace is Naseem Shah,
Naseem
Yeah,
Shah,
Nasim
yeah,
Shah.
absolutely, hands down.
and I
Also,
think
I
we have a
think,
bunch of comments as well on the Sri Lanka
yeah.
England test.
So
The game
also
live,
on blue,
KKR. Yeah,
acha,
that we
I
mentioned
think that
Hafiz
was that
Khan.
was the Josh Butler game. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I,
that was
I,
one game I enjoyed so much. I mean, there were two such
Bro
historic
is
games at the
back.
Eden this time.
Bro had a
Yeah,
really
two,
good
two,
interaction with us regarding Shikhar Dhawan, and he's back. Hey, guy, he's back. I'm
yeah,
really
blue is
excited.
back, and yeah. So
And he
yeah,
has
I mean, there
100
were
wins.
two historic games at the Eden Gardens this IPL, and both games the center stage was taken by two Englishmen. One was Josh Butler, and the other was Johnny Bairstow,
and in
where
both of the
Punjab.
matches, I think the openers of KKR, they did everything
Yeah,
possible
I
to
think
take
Doing
Sunil Narine
everything,
made
yeah.
100 in the Rajasthan match, and Punjab match also he made some 60, 70 odd, I think.
yeah, and I
Yeah.
think this guy
Phil
Phil
Salt
Salt was
also
also
played well
yeah,
in the
exactly.
Punjab match. Yeah. So that Punjab match was a different sort of mayhem. I mean, everyone was coming, and it was sort of a virtual game, and what heading it was. Everyone was just coming,
Yeah,
smashing some sixes, and
in
going
our
away.
WhatsApp groups, we were like, these guys are playing on a cement pitch with a tennis ball, so every ball goes off and goes off for a six.
Yes, and so Blue is back, and the next question is who makes their wicket keeper open in Test? Nishan Madushka kept for 100 overs, and then again
That's
opened
what
for Sri Lanka.
as I mentioned, there's no need to keep him for 100 over. And Sangakkara mentioned that how hard it becomes to just to have a 10 minutes of change up and then kind of change your gears, change.
Yes, also, who has been the last wicket keeper? I don't remember a lot of names who have kept for his team and then opened in Test cricket. Who has been the last such instance? I don't remember. Guys like Quinton de Kock and Johnny Bairstow, they open in the limited overs, but they have batted down the order when they've kept.
Who was the
Same with
last one? Really
Gilchrist.
good
Same
question.
with Gilchrist. He used to open in
No,
the limited
Gilchrist didn't
overs
open in
Yeah,
Test
Gilchrist
cricket.
didn't open
Gilchrist,
in test
in
matches.
test in limited cricket.
Gilchrist
So,
batted at number 7.
Yeah, yeah.
man, that's a
Who has
good
been
question.
the
That's a good
guy?
question.
I
Who
don't
has been
remember, to be honest.
I don't
keeper
remember
open?
either.
Sri
That's a
Lanka
very
can keep. Sri Lanka
yeah,
can keep with Chandimal, I think, if he's fit enough. I don't know
yeah.
if Chandimal keeps at this stage of his career, but maybe they can use Chandimal to keep. Else, I think I don't know if they have any options. Else, they have to maybe move Pathum Nisanka up the order.
There's no
But then
need,
also
as I
number 3,
mentioned, no need. But
Kingston
they
Madhushka.
decided to. So that's very pretty kind of a harsh decision from him. I think. Yeah, we didn't have much. I mean, watching some of the names, no, wasn't very many. Just not many. Alex Stewart was there, but didn't open. Came at number three. Kamran Akmal used to come at number three. Safraz not. Brendan McCullum was opening. He used to open for a test match for New Zealand at some point, is he? Or coming at number
Test
three.
match, no. I think I don't remember in at the start of his career, but I think mostly batted maybe 3 4 in Test cricket.
Sangakkara did in first couple of games in towards the start of his career when he used to keep and come at not come at the open but come at number three. But most of the time Sri Lanka used to lose their first wicket in the first over. So by the time he
Yes,
was out in
so
the middle,
that's
it
what
was
Brew is also saying. See that they don't open in tests cause keeping is taxing, and then coming out to
WRA,
bat
yeah.
as opener is tough. Yeah,
Fielders gets
it's
our
really
keeper zone, yeah.
grueling. You and also still you are keeping here in England. Maybe somewhere in Chennai you are keeping, or maybe in Sri Lanka if you are keeping for maybe 2 days almost, and then you are 10 minutes break and you are coming out to bat. Man, you take retirement at 20, 28, 26, 27, I would say.
Absolutely. Then let's move to the news section. Do you have any other comment or just going back to the news section?
McCallum didn't keep if he opened, I guess. Yeah, so that's what I was also saying. I don't think McCallum has kept and opened
I think he
together.
batted at 3 or 4 something. So not
Yeah, I
doesn't
remember when he scored those double hundreds and all against India. I think he was batting at 4 most probably.
don't remember the team.
So
Don't go back to the teams.
I think let's move on to our next news topic. And guys, please keep shooting your comments. Again, we will come
Yeah.
back to your comments. So
Yeah, obviously, we have the news of Jay Shah become the new ICC chairman, as we kind of really discussed that it was almost given when Australia and England supported him. It was almost given that Jay Shah would take the place, the prestigious position, becoming the fifth Indian and the youngest ever at 35 to get the position of the ICC chairman. Obviously, I'm just looking. I just pinned down a article on what I expect he needs to kind of work on in the future, and one of those is the giving the way more kind of a news circles to the associate nations. You saw 20 teams played in the last T20 World Cups. It was pretty good. How most of the teams batted, most of the teams played. Apart from 4 teams, I think Papua New Guinea, Oman, Nepal, and Ireland, they didn't get a single win in the whole tournament, and most of the teams did really well. Scotland was at one of those positions where they could have easily battling with England for the semi-final spot, and US also beat Pakistan and put India under a bit of pressure in the tournament. So they batted really well, so played really well as a team, and giving exposure to the teams are really vital, as I believe. Then there is another option. I think T20 leagues are getting very higher in this current world. So many T20s are playing around. All the teams already have their franchise leagues. Then they have states playing their T20 tournaments, domestic T20 tournaments in the country. So needs to take care of how many T20s they're going to play in a year. I think it's also very important for Jay Shah will be to just the Test cricket, the fun that has been also discussed. And CA, the Mike Bird, Vicky Bird has spoke about how the US $50 million will help the Test cricket to survive, but CWI director Johnny Graves has think that that won't didn't really work out. So he has another work to do, and Also, the future of ODI cricket. Again, Jai Shah has to also take care of that future of ODI cricket. Really looks bleak. I don't think there's much interest among the fans, neither the players who are taking most of the breaks at the end of the ODIs. You see, I don't see many 5 match ODIs these days, apart from the one that's coming between England and Australia. Most of the teams are playing 3 matches series in the ODIs. India's playing just 3 in the whole year. Play the next year, 6 months later. So they're not going to play most ODIs. So the future of ODI cricket is under the hunger. So these are the things I think Jashan needs to work on as it becomes, as it takes the new charge, replacing New Zealand's Greg Barkley from December 1. Yeah, that's the point. And there's another
Yeah. So
point
what
as
do
the
you think?
last. Yeah,
What do you think
yeah, come.
is Jesha's gonna be? What do you think is gonna be Jesha's biggest challenge as the IC chairman? I mean, anything which Greg Berkeley didn't fulfill, maybe to the people's
Uh,
expectations.
see, one thing that India is really blessed with is having the IPL in a period of time when there is no international window. When IPL is being played, there's no T20 leagues, no international window clashing with it. So if it decides to kind of narrow the IPL period, it won't be good for Indian cricket. The BCCI won't love it because now he's the ICC chairman. He has to think around the world. He can't think of only India. He can't say that BBL and SA20 league can be scrapped out or squeezed up. Then they won't be happy. So he has to be really careful. And now, if you don't squeeze up this T20 leagues, Test cricket's future is really under the threat. To be honest, I don't see many teams, and the fund is not going to make really change the future. I don't see this 50 million, whatever thousand million pounds they have been proposed. That's not going to make a change for sure. I mean, the
And there
franchise
are a lot of
offered
countries who are ready, who are
who
always
already
ready, to pounce on India, that India is biased when it comes to
India's
cricket.
biased.
So
I
they are
mean,
ready.
yeah, that obviously I saw Gordon Haig. They put up a very pretty strong article on Jay Shah. He believes that this is a decision which is the most foolish decision in the whole era. He has taken on making Jay Shah as ICC chairman. I don't think another point, as I mentioned, ODI's future is really under scare. I don't know what is the future of World Cups. There's no point of that. Most of the teams are basically arranging a series or preparation 1 or 1.5 years before the prior to the World Cup. So most of the there is no relevance on bilateral ODI series, right? Most of our teams are quite preparing themselves for the major tournaments, the Champions Trophy. There is that World Cup. So there needs to be one thing, and I also mentioned one thing: that Test cricket. How can you survive Test cricket? How can you make this team? You have to WTC won't work. When they proposed that moment, I just kind of shouted all the time. World Test Championship never ever help in promoting Test cricket or helping the Test cricket to grow. At some point of time, per se Bangladesh, they know they're going to qualify. What they're going to do? They're going to play meaningless Test matches. Pakistan know they're
Also, I
not going to
think
qualify.
one thing which they can do in WTC is something which happens in Ranji. I'm not sure if it happens at the moment, but it happened previously. That the plate group concept. Maybe there
That is the
might be
one
one team which
division
they will play plate division,
divisions.
and then one team which has done very well. You can promote them in the next season, and then maybe relegate one of the top teams if who has done the worst to the plate division, and that's something which will, I mean,
Yeah,
inspire
that happens
those
in.
weaker teams to battle well, because they know that they are not battling to play the final at Lords or wherever it's going. So
Yeah,
they are
but
not battling to play the final, but they will battle to get that one qualification to the upper group.
upper group. Yeah, that's a very good point that you made. That also works out in the county championship where there's a Division One, Division Two point system.
Yes.
So at least for the half of the season, you have to
Yeah,
battle
so
out. It's
that's
not like
something
over
that's going to be meaningful for some teams like maybe West
most
Indies,
teams.
Bangladesh,
But
South Africa,
you know what
Pakistan.
the
I
issue?
sorry,
There
sorry,
is the
man. They're
issue
also
that yeah, there's the issue Michael Holding made that some of the teams, despite of their poor performance in the red ball format, they don't want to get back to the Division Two. First, the Pakistan. If you say that you go back to a Division Two, play with Bangladesh and Sri Lanka, they're not ready. They're not happy because they think that they are really good in Test cricket. There's South Africa. There's England. England will say, "Oh, we are playing pretty much good cricket, aggressive cricket, basketball tournament. We're not getting results, but we're entertaining the people." They're not happy getting back to Division Two, and that's the issue they have to work out. But
yeah.
at
So I
some
think
point of time,
quite a few comments lined up.
And I think
Yeah.
only just only shuffling one team from the top tier to the second tier, and then the second tier to the top tier won't work, because I'll give
won't
you an
work. Yeah,
example. So suppose we make the group with two groups with 4 teams each. The top 4 teams, England, India, Australia, and South Africa, and then you have probably West Indies, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and you can add someone else, maybe Afghanistan. Four of them. So suppose one of them drops from the top group. I'll take probably South Africa drops from the top group, and Pakistan or West Indies qualifies to the the first group. So the competition for Pakistan or West Indies or Bangladesh or Afghanistan, whoever qualifies from this group, is going to be immensely tough. And for the and for
Immensely
this
tough,
one,
yeah.
yeah, and in the second tier, you're pretty sure that South Africa or India or Australia, whoever has dropped down, if they even if they play their B teams, they are going to come up the next year. So I think
Yeah.
it has to be a two-team shuffle. It has to be a two-team shuffle in order so that there is two good teams in this pool and two bad teams, two good teams in the
Yeah,
other
but I
pool as
mean,
well.
yeah, definitely. This is the concept
This
that
is a
I mean,
challenge.
ICC really needs to do some change to the WTC. The way the WTC is going on, it's just India Pakistan will play the finals. Others are just playing. I mean, as they wish, and they know that they are not going to play the final. Maybe at the best, England or New Zealand, maybe some edition will give a challenge, but it's mostly down to an India Australia final. So if we go to our comments now,
And
Kanchan is
again, then
saying.
all the WTC finals are being hosted in England, so that needs to change because then that gives the countries which have
Yeah,
the
also I
base
think in our, yeah, in what we are discussing, I think let's take Ashish's comment first because he's on this context only. Yeah,
Number of
Kanchan and
test matches
Shomajit, we
should
will
be
get back
increased.
to
It
you shortly.
should be
Ashish
equal.
is
At
saying
least it should
number of
be
test
equal.
matches should be increased.
Should be
Yeah,
equal. At
so
least some plus two matches, some plus three matches. And England always
yeah,
play
also,
Australia
I
in
mean,
equal
that's
test.
the thing. I mean, England in the entire WTC will play maybe every series will be 4-5 match series, and then New Zealand will be playing just 2-2 match series. So New Zealand are playing like 12 matches, 6 series, 2 matches, and then England out of 6 series, maybe four of their series will have 5 matches. So they will be playing 20-25 matches. That's ridiculous, to be
That's
honest.
ridiculous.
I
I
mean,
mean,
and then and then
there
and
should
then
be
to
some
fit it in
parity.
the and then to fit it in the cricket calendar, I think you have to sacrifice ODI cricket completely for that if you have to increase the more number of test matches.
and that is
As it
another
is,
challenge.
yeah, as it is, India played, since this is not a a World Cup or a Champions Trophy year. India played three ODIs this year. Three ODIs. Can you imagine three ODIs being played? I mean, I don't remember in my entire lifetime three ODIs being played by India in an entire
Yeah,
calendar year.
No, they
we were
didn't.
saying the other day in 2013 there were seven ODIs. There was a seven ODI series between India and Australia, that legendary ODI series, and now there's three ODIs in the entire year. So times have changed a lot. But yeah, definitely. I mean, test matches can be increased or can be decreased. That's a different proposition. But there should be some parity. Everyone should play X number of matches, and then X should be fixed. One cannot play 25 matches and the other playing 10 matches, and then you are just calculating on the basis of percentage. Winning 4 matches out of 8, and then winning 10, maybe 12 out of 24. Both can't be evaluated on the same scale, man.
Yeah,
Also, I think Ashish is saying
that
like
should be slashed down
this group
because of the number of
this
teams.
group is not created based on the level of the team.
Yeah,
India versus
absolutely.
Zimbabwe matches is mostly a charity game. Zimbabwe generates revenue by hosting India. Yes, I mean,
That's it.
uh, uh,
That's the point. He's absolutely spot on the point. Zimbabwe always generates revenue by hosting India. There's no way they're gonna host. And I think ACB did a very good thing by giving the touring fees for next year when they're gonna host them for a 4-day test match in the next season. And the issue is also that England playing Sri Lanka at the moment, they're not gonna earn anything for the level of thing. The Lord stage, the opening day by Lord stage was empty. The stands were empty because they're hosting Sri Lanka. By the time India comes, it won't be the same picture. It'll be full. I mean, people will be there because they know India is playing. Australia will be playing. The same goes in West Indies. West Indies only generates revenue when India and England comes, not even Australia. And that's why Australia hasn't toured West Indies since their 2015 series. It's been more
yeah, I
than
think there was a series where Steve Smith scored a 199. Ever since they haven't gone there.
199, almost a decade. You remember when was the last time New Zealand toured South Africa? Do you remember? Almost
I
eight
think
years.
I think in 2013 the tour. After that, did the
And
tour?
then
I don't
2016,
remember.
16, and 2016 the
16.
series played, and you know what happened? Because they had to squeeze up the series in between, they played test series in South Africa in August. It's a rainy season. First game was absolutely washed out in Durban because it's a rainy season. They have squeezed up, and they decided to arrange New Zealand series in August, which would never happen in South Africa, never ever. And that is the issue the boards are facing. And that's why the Jay Shah and all the kind of members needs to come on and say, hey, we need to save this cricket. This is the purest form. And as a really fan of the format, I really want to see the pretty good battle. I don't want to see kind of a meaningless test
Yeah,
matches.
even if I speak of like ODI cricket, I think Bangladesh has not played any series recently in India. I think I don't remember when was the last time Bangladesh played an ODI series in India. And I mean, even when Bangladesh is coming for a test series next month, but everyone knows the result. India will just beat
That is
them
that is
comprehensively. Even Bangladesh knows that.
essentially,
There's
yeah, as
absolutely
bad
no
as
point to the series.
No point. Yeah, no.
bad as it may sound, it's essentially just to make the path easier for India to qualify for the WTC finals. I think that's it.
That's
Yeah,
it.
I mean, anyway,
ICC knows
India
it.
India at home, even Australia and England, if they are coming, you take it like India will win, and then if Bangladesh, even when New Zealand will come, they are also gonna be beaten comprehensively. I'm saying it on in live. India
Yeah,
will win that
obviously.
series
Yeah,
comprehensively. Everyone knows.
the India England series test series, that 3-1 or 4-1, that one for England,
Four
that was
one.
a mishap. It should have been 5-0 or 4-0, whatever it was. It should have been a whitewash.
Yeah, that I mean,
Should have been.
196 run tail, and I mean, then Oli Pope just played some once in a generation innings, and
And then
those
you
once
cannot
in a generation.
and then you cannot
And
chase down
India is such a good
228
team at
in the
home,
fourth
such a
innings.
good test team at home that you maybe one mishap might happen at the best, but that not anything more than that.
Yeah.
You can't beat India in two consecutive tests at home. You just can't beat. At least not till the day when Ashwin and Jadeja are there. Also, I think if we go to the comments above, Shomajit was saying like he was coming into a debate with the Fab Four. So the debate is almost over. The root is now better than Virat in Test cricket, but he's better in this decade. Also, I've remembered Steve Smith.
I think it's
Shomojit,
something else.
India
Is it?
plays 10 tests in the next 5 months. So that is like 20 innings. So in 20 innings, if Virat manages to pile up 4 or 5 hundreds, then the debate can come back to the life again. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, till you can say till those COVID days, the debate was very much on. Maybe Virat was the aggressor in that competition, but since those COVID time, I mean, Virat's test form started declining ever since that 100 in that pink ball test against Bangladesh. I think he was averaging in the 20s for some 2 3 years before he got that 100 at Ahmedabad against
Well,
Australia.
he
Mm,
actually has commented that he's talking about technique. I think Steve Smith is the best. I don't see anyone beating having a better technique than Steve Smith at any point of time in Test matches. I always find it very fascinating how Steve Smith, and I mentioned in the comments how Steve Smith was supposed to be the next Gen one and has become the next Don Bradman from Australia. Even with a kind of a dancing mode in the stunts, he kind of bats like a different skin. He has been famous in all parts of the ground. You can think that Joe Root has an average of around 40, is yet to score a century, 80 and highest in Australia. He has recently been successful in Asian conditions. But when Steve Smith comes, you always know he has been successful in Sri Lanka, scoring the century in the last series. He has
Yeah,
scored
I think
centuries.
Steve Smith till some 2019, 2020 was sort of a machine. He just used to churn out runs, and I mean, he was
You
having a
remember you,
robotic.
you remember that century that Steve Smith made in Pune when India was bundled out for 120 in both the innings, and that was a pretty
Yeah, on
obvious
the rank
example.
runner against Ashwin Jadeja, and I think Jayant Yadav was playing.
Giant the other. So yeah, that was a pretty much obvious that Steve Smith was always going to be one of the best. I think
Yeah,
what
and
Root
I
has
mean,
done
Steve Smith was the leading run scorer in that series, and it was a shame that Australia just failed to win that series because of that one bad
yeah,
session at Bengaluru.
at Bangalore, yeah, to be honest, that was, and also he had that brain fade moment with Peter
I mean,
Handscomb in
and
Bangalore.
that was that second match was the only match where Smith didn't get 100. He got 100 later on in Ranchi and then in Dharamshala also.
That I'm sure also what a series we had. And I think what Root actually developed in his career, the fact end of his career was the conversion rate. He was scoring 50s, so many 50s, wasn't getting convert the
Yeah, I think
centuries.
if
But
I mean
since
post
COVID,
COVID, you can say that Smith and Virat both sort of went down the ladder, and then it was time for Root to come up, and he just I mean 2021 he was batting like a genius. I mean everywhere he was going, he was scoring runs for fun, and then I mean by the end of the year when it went down under, it sort of looked like he was just tired out carrying the team on his shoulder, entire
yeah,
team on his shoulder. Even Stokes wasn't there at that point of time
Stokes
owing to
was
some mental illnesses.
and there's
And
a
I mean
captaincy kind of
even
pressure,
when
the
he went to
captaincy.
Australia, he scored 80 odd in both the first two Test matches at Gabba and at Adelaide, I guess, and then he scored a 50 at MCG, and then so he sort of just was tired out, and I think he was that year he made a record, maybe third most run score in a
Yeah.
calendar year, something like that,
So among
after
the, if you
Mohammad
are talking
Yusuf
about the,
and
if yeah,
Richards.
if you are talking about the Fab Four, for me, Smith is still at number one, Root at number two, Williamson at number three, Virat at number four. But you never know Virat. Virat always have the kind of fight
See,
moment. He always knows.
Kane and Virat, there will always be a debate that Kane maybe. I mean, Kane, he has been sort of phenomenal in home conditions, but I mean, sometimes it's the away stats for Kane that's come up, and that's something that might work against Kane because he hasn't. I mean, don't really know what is the reason for him not doing so well, and because I think he's got the game to play spin bowling, to play swing bowling, everything, but maybe for some reason he hasn't been able to succeed that much,
Yeah,
especially
maybe
in
that's the
Asian
point.
conditions. Even in England, I think he was scoring
No, no.
he was averaging in the late 20s.
Yeah, he hasn't really succeeded in England too. In South Africa too. In Australia too. Only scores, only time place he scores is as at home, New Zealand, which is not an easy place to bat at all.
Yeah, Pakistan stats. Anyways, I'm not checking. He scored a 200 in the last series. I think in 2022 he scored a
Oh,
200 in
yeah, he
Pakistan.
scored that 200 in Pakistan. Also scored a series in UAE against Pakistan. Also, in the year when Philip Hughes left us for all time. That is the point.
Yeah, I mean, I think all these all four are very good in their home conditions. Virat has been very good in India, though I think in recent times he has had struggled a bit, particularly on those rank turner pitches. Maybe on the slightly decent tracks, he has made runs pretty comfortably. But I mean, Root, as usual, he has made lots of runs in England, tons of runs. Smith in Australia and Kane in New Zealand. But if the away conditions are to be talked about, maybe I think Virat will come at three because of his relatively superior stats. I think he's got good series in Australia and England. In
Yeah,
South Africa
he
also, he's
is.
been phenomenal in 2014, 18, 22, 21, 22. Also, I think, like Shomojit is asking, Sri Lanka is weaker than Bangladesh in the test. What about the England versus Sri Lanka series? So I think this was in context of when we were speaking about the WTC thing. Sri Lanka is weaker than Bangladesh.
Sri Lanka is weaker than Bangladesh. I can't think of that kind of poor thing. Sri Lanka is not weaker than Bangladesh. No, 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 no. I don't think so. Sri Lanka has a reach kind of a history of cricket in the test
Bangladesh
format.
themselves are not aware of what they can do and what they
They are
cannot.
surprised. The Bangladesh guys are surprised to see the comment. Sri Lanka, we are better than Sri Lanka. No, no, no. I think that's one of the test matches where Bangladesh played really well. But you can think of that yeah, that we can think of that Bangladesh have really done a pretty good job against Pakistan. But had it been any other team, it's Pakistan who played kind of poorer than them in the last Rawalpindi Test match. Sri Lanka, despite of being away from home in England, and they have really done a really pretty good job with the bat, with the
Yeah,
ball,
so
did really
I
well with the
mean,
pace.
yeah,
Yep.
that's true. And in that case, I mean, definitely we have got a few more comments. We will come back again and just that last part of our news
Loving the
session.
engagement from the audience. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Yeah, thanks, guys.
absolutely loved it.
It's
Absolutely loved
real
it. Great,
to get these
guys.
comments on.
I mean, keep it up, man. I mean,
Give that man. Obviously, we
just this much
do another.
participation from you guys will give us that energy to go forward and create further exciting content, to be honest.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we'll
And
obviously have a
please like,
separate.
share, and subscribe our channel. Please press the bell icon for further updates. We'll be again coming live this weekend, maybe on some other topic. We will just let you know.
Maybe
We'll
something
let
on
you
Joe
guys
Root.
know.
Obviously, as score
Yeah,
runs, his technique.
we are planning to make something on the England match through Joe Root. We will just put up a community post maybe a day before. And
Yeah,
so please share with your friends. And so the last part of our news, which will be on the Women's T20 World Cup, which is gonna be held in the month of October. So initially it was slated to happen in Bangladesh, but owing to some political unrest in that part of the world, it has been shifted to the UAE, and the matches will be now played in Dubai and Sharjah. And I mean, India have announced their squad last time. They just narrowly missed out in the semi-final. I think that run out of Harmanpreet Kaur that I mean drew a lot of resemblance to the MS Dhoni run out of 2019. Anyways, both seven jersey. And now if we look at the squad this time around, I think it's a pretty balanced squad. There's been a few players like Shriyanka Patel and Yastika Bhatia who are subject to clearance. India have picked up
yeah,
just two pacers, one all-rounder pacer in Pooja Bhastrakar and just one genuine pacer in Renuka Singh Thakur. I mean, Renuka Singh Thakur was initially very good for India. She can swing the ball, swing the new ball very decently. But I think maybe in recent times she hasn't been in that good form. But I'm hoping that she will come back to form. And if I speak of the spinner attack, India have a plethora of spinners. I think they have picked up quite a few spinners. In Radha Yadav is there. Deepti Sharma. I mean, Deepti Sharma had a very good 100 recently. And I think they need to use Deepti Sharma maybe a bit up the order, because I don't think that she's that player to play maybe at 6, 7 and come and straight away finish. Also, they have, I think Arundhati Reddy is there as a backup pacer. If she plays, then they have got I think Tanuja Kanwar in the traveling reserves. She's also a pretty good spinner. And then in the batting department, I think they have got the old war horses in Smriti, Harmanpreet, and then the young talent in Shafali. I mean, she's been there for quite some time now, and I think this is the right time for her to showcase her talent at the biggest stage. Yes, Tika, I don't know if she will be cleared for fitness. Richa Ghosh is also there. I think she's been pretty
Yeah, I
decent for
think
India.
one of the very equal things between the men's and women's side is how they handle pressure. All the times India play, I can't remember any Indian side which has gone to a T20 tournament or a ODI
Yeah, if
World
I
Cup,
speak of the
whatever.
women's team, I mean, 22 Commonwealth Games, they lost the final from a good position. 23
Yeah,
semi-final,
that's
they
what.
lost from a good position.
Yeah,
2017 final, better not to speak about that.
yeah, that's what I'm
So
saying. That I don't remember any Indian side which has gone to ICC tournament without quality. They have no. They always have quality players in batting and bowling, men and women, all the time. So it's always about handling pressure. Once they handle the pressure, balance it out pretty well, they always have a better chance. As India did in the Caribbean in this T20 World Cup, they kind of seize the moment pretty well. Go through the moments and emotions out of months, out of weeks pretty well, and that's really good job. And that actually resulted in their T20 World Cup second title in the tournament. And that was the one thing that the India women have to do. And that actually has been the advantage that there won't be pretty much crowd in Sharjah and Dubai. I don't expect a lot of fans interacting during the Women's T20 World Cup, which is expected to be almost a empty stadium, as Heather Knight, the England captain, has already mentioned. So this is going to be something that India would look at. They have a pretty good chance on the slow bounce, slow pitches, slow spinning tracks. They're pretty good. The batting side is really good. Spinners are really good. And yeah, should be a cracker of a T20 World Cup.
yeah, also Sajana Sajivan, I think she just shot to fame with the last ball six in the WPL opener, and
Oh man, yeah.
she's there in the squad. I don't know if she's gonna get a game, but I think she's also maybe at some point she's gonna strike up. And Jemima Rodriguez, I mean, she was very good for TKR women in the recently concluded women's CPL. So I think India have enough talent in the squad. It's just up to, as Shubhadeep said, how they use the talent, and the bigger question is how they cope up to pressure in front of teams like Australia and England. So again, I mean, Australia and England are surely going to be the favorites, I think, but definitely India can spring up a surprise if they play to their
let's
true
let's
potential.
let's one of them knock the other around, and so we can get one less level knockouts here.
With the other one.
Yeah, so I think our last wind up of the comments, and what is Shomojit saying is it possible for MI to retain all of their core players with Hardik Bumrah Sky?
I think the last
No,
time we saw them play together was the T20 World Cup final, and that's it.
no, that's it.
Thank you for
No,
the
that's
sweet
the
memories.
answer. No. Is it possible?
Thank you for the
No.
sweet memories. That's what you
Also,
should say.
I don't know if the four Indian players will be allowed to retain. I am not sure. If one overseas, I don't think
No,
MI
even if
has
they
any
are,
overseas
they're
player.
not going to. The
Yeah,
players
that's what
don't
that.
going to
Yeah,
shy away.
that's that's it. T20 World Cup final, 29 June 2024. That was the last time you had seen these people play together, and that will
Yeah,
be the
that's
last
it.
time.
Yeah,
That's
that's
it.
as he mentioned. Thank you very much for sweet memories. That's it. Thank you. Bye
Yeah.
bye.
Thank
That's
you,
it.
guys. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you
I
guys for
think
playing together and wonderfully on a most needed day.
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
so
no.
definitely. I mean, that was a real good session, and I mean, again, as I said, we will come back this weekend again,
Are you wrapping
and
up? Are
most
you
probably,
wrapping? Are you
and
wrapping
most
up the show?
probably,
Yeah.
yes. So
Wrap it
I
Then,
up.
okay,
think,
yeah. Then since we are from India, I would like to take two sentences about the Paralympic medals today, if that's not a
Yeah.
problem, because
Obviously,
we should
we
we
want to
should
yeah,
go
give them
and
a
obviously, it
tribute,
was a
right?
good day for India
Yeah.
in the Paralympics. I think after a pretty disappointing Olympics. I think there were a lot of close shaves with India finishing fourth in so many events. And I mean, today was a great day. I think India bagged quite a
Today
few
was great.
medals.
Great. Yeah, one gold for Avani Lekhara, and in the same event, then Mona Agarwal winning the bronze, and then Preeti Pal, as you know, she broke the record. I think she broke the record for uh, I think probably the Asian record, and then came in the top three, and got the clinch the bronze in the 100 meters. So that's phenomenal. Like, we don't produce many phenomenal athletes in India. Like
Yeah, I
in
think one last question
prize,
from our audience,
and then
Kanchan.
the last prize,
So
Ishar was the silver. So
India's squad
Yeah.
announcement for Bangladesh test. Yeah, I think at the moment it's not announced. Definitely, we will have a discussion once it's announced. But I
Second
think
week
mostly
of,
it's gonna.
I think after the first round game of Duleep Trophy, they're gonna see the changes. They're gonna see the announcement for sure. Maybe wait for the second week of September
But
before they
anyways, we,
announce the
we know
scores.
we know the result, right? What's the need for the squad?
There are here a few players here and there, and that's it. Almost all are set up.
but we don't
Yeah.
know
So
who's going to do what. Maybe you will see Jasprit Bumrah and Siraj opening, and then Rohit Sharma spinning the ball from one end, and
yeah,
Virat
there
Kohli
needs to
coming.
be something to for these tests to watch, right? I mean, otherwise everyone knows the results. Why will people watch?
Because GG is at the helm, so you never know.
Oh man,
Anyway, so I
let's wrap
think
it up.
this was definitely a pretty interesting session. Not like what's the India Bangladesh series gonna be. Uh, it's more like a BGT, and
Never,
I think
never,
yeah, definitely we enjoyed.
never ever underestimate Bangladesh. Be careful. He said it's
No,
going to
no,
turn to be
no,
exciting series.
at home. I'm just not taking any chance. India at
You were
home,
never
man.
sure
And
about Indian team.
fastest will be at Chennai. Oh man, I'm just going away. Fastest is at Chennai. Ashwin is gonna play at Chennai.
Let's see. I'm not really sure
Okay,
about
so I
Indian
think
team.
that was a pretty interactive session, and also
Yeah,
I
let's
think
wrap it up.
Rajat, his first day here, and he also enjoyed a lot. Subhadeep has
He'll
been
be
there for
back.
quite some time.
He will be back for
Yeah,
the Joe Root one interaction. I think he'll do in one of those weekend days.
yeah. So I
See,
think also thanks a lot to all you guys. Please share our videos. Please like, share, and subscribe. And please join us again in our next live. Till then, cheers,
Thank you.
goodbye, good night.
Thank you,
adios.
guys.